sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
You're ready to fight, aren't you? I can feel it!
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
There's the funds.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
He's announcing a catalog, everybody! Hey! Give him a round of applause! Come on, give him a round of applause! You can't afford a home. You might end up in a tent. Your rent is doubled, but hey, you've got a brand new catalog.
When I'm prime minister, I will keep my promises. Now, another promise. Let me try again.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
We need to trigger an axe the tax election as soon as possible.
We'll do it live. No, we'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe, our weekly amazing live streaming show. All because you, this most amazing YouTube community, is joining us here tonight. Joining me as always in this stream, the very beautiful, the knockout herself, Mrs. Fringe. Welcome in. It's good to have you here.
Good to have me. Thank you.
I'm very happy to have you here because we got a lot to talk about tonight. I got to talk about, you know what really grinds my gears? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into Ruby Dhalla. We're going to get into everything that's going on this week in politics. So hold on to your nipples and nutbags, folks, because we got a lot to get through tonight. Let's start with a good old-fashioned roll call. Chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. If it's your first time here, let me know and we'll get the lube. Throw that up in the chat. Let's see if we can get one person from every province in the country. And also, while we're at it, let's see how many Americans we can get in the chat tonight. I know they're joining us more and more here on the channel. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to get to everybody we can. Asuki Link joining us from Ottawa right now. Welcome in. Vinyl Collector from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Carol and Gerald are coming in from Calgary. We got Nelson Cade coming in from New Brunswick. Angela with the LFG from Nova Scotia. We got Paul from St. Vital, Winnipeg. Welcome in. Used to live right by St. Vital. Love that. OCD from Vaven, BBC. Welcome in. Vibrasonic coming in from Weldon, Saskatchewan. Lee coming in from Edmonton. Click that thumbs up like button underneath the video, folks. Let's see if we can get more people in the stream tonight. CB Fixes All saying, cowbells, they grind my gears. Welcome in.
You just like watching me grind, like roll my eyes.
I'm the cock of the walk, baby. We're going to get into it tonight. Let's go. Georgina coming in from Ontario. We got Brycex coming in from Lloyd for the first time. Welcome in. We'll take it easy on you. Airworks coming in from Toronto. Off to Mexico tomorrow, I saw. Hope you enjoy that trip. Travel safely. Shelby coming in from Langley. Welcome in. Good guy from Edmonton. Not all people are good, but some people are good guys. How? Welcome in. We got non-compliant Canadian, my favorite kind, coming in from Eastern Ontario. We got John coming in from Montreal. Welcome in. We've got Roxy from Quadra Island, in BC. Stormy weather coming in from Vancouver Island as well. The very vivacious Marika joining us once again from Montreal. Welcome in. Great to have one of my favorite mods in the channel. In the stream as well, J-By coming in from Montreal. We've got Adam watching from Kitchener, Ontario. MJW, I registered for my vote today with the Liberal leader race. I'm happy to hear that. We're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight. John coming in from Iroquois Fall, Ontario. Welcome in. David Brewer joining us from Springfield, where good old Mr. Burns resides. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Welcome into the stream. We've got Cryptic Mind coming in from Michigan. Love our American viewers. Welcome into all of you. Robert coming in, Luke and Windsor. Great to have you in. We got Wesley Snipes joining us once again from Lethbridge. Prep Rebel Actual joining us from Victoria, BC. We got Kirk coming in from Manitoba, Canadian guy. Sam Jackson voice. I would have to scream way too loud for that. And I can't yell that on the stream unless I want to get demonetized. But hey, I get the sentiment. I appreciate it. May's coming in. Do it dry. No, we're not going to do that. Dirk coming in from Vancouver Island once again. We got Goldwing Ben coming in from Fremont, Quebec. Welcome in as well. We've got Schween coming in from the hat in Alberta, of course. Mark McFarland coming in from Iowa. Gotta love Iowa. Welcome in. TB coming in from Vulcan. It's great to have you here. Every time I hear Vulcan, I know it's a town in Alberta. I've been there. It always reminds me of that scene from Back to the Future when Marty says, "My name is Darth Vader. I come from the planet Vulcan." Gotta love it. Kim coming in from Windsor, Ontario. We got Daria from Kamloops. We got Anthony coming in saying 51st state. Come on, not yet. There's still hope. We're clinging to hope. Laura coming in from Calgary. Captain Calgary coming in from Toronto. No, I'm kidding. Calgary, welcome in. Great to have you here. We got Mark coming in from Nanaimo. Michael coming in from Port Coquitlam. Ingrid and Charlie, of course. My favorite mod named Ingrid coming in from Okotoks. Thank you for being here tonight. Great to have you here. We got Angela coming in from Red Deer. We've got...
You're getting slow. Keep going.
Pink Fuzzy House Coat. Pink Fuzzy House Coat. Why did I say house cat? Coming in from Clive, Alberta. Welcome in. We got Dustin going back to the late 90s with a what's up? Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you here. Tulip coming in from Shuswap, gorgeous part of the country. We got Joe Lyman representing from Red Deer. Big shout out to Joe giving us an article this week from talking about Mark Carney and his two-faced behavior on the National Post. Joe does a lot of work behind the scenes with this channel. He's absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you one thing. It's good to have friends.
It is.
Always appreciating
you have
Joe
good friends
coming around. We got a few honorable mentions to throw in here before we get started. Errol becoming a new member of the channel. Welcome to the Patriots Club. Canadian guy with a $5 super chat saying Trudeau, Carney, and Freeland are equal to Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Mike with a $5 super chat. As an American, appreciate you guys trying to bring some sanity back to Canada. We appreciate everything America's doing right now to try and bring sanity back to Canada. So thank you very much. Welcome into the stream. We got David Warner as well, becoming a new member of the channel tonight. All of those people joining the Patriots Club tonight. Don't forget, next Friday is our end of the month live stream, which means everyone enrolled in the Patriots Club throughout the month of February, even if you were gifted a membership, we're going to be doing a draw next Friday. The winner of that draw must be a member of the Patriots Club. But you get to pick one item from our store free of charge. Your call, any item, and we'll ship that off to you. So if you've been waiting to get a membership to the Patriots Club, now's the time. Jump on that tonight, folks. It supports the channel, and it also gets you in the running for something of your own, something of your very own from the Fringe. With that being said, ladies and gents, let's get straight on to the memes. Everyone's here for the memes. People love the Friday night memes.
Itchy today. Okay.
Oh, they love the memes. People like me talking like Mr. Burns. Excellent. Let's apparently people really enjoyed the Mr. Burns today. Oh, hello. I guess I'll do the stream as Charles Montgomery Burns from now on. It's great to have you guys in. Let's get into the memes, shall we? Who doesn't want to have some fun? Speaking of America, this one's sent to me by good old Marika. This is a at-home Trump derangement syndrome test, the most sensitive test on the market today. Screeching, crying, delusions, extreme hate, rage, inability to tolerate opinions, 99.9% accuracy. As reliable as tests used by doctors and hospitals. There you go. Love that meme. Of course, this one's coming out when the World War III draft starts. We're getting close by the looks of it. But yeah, Trudeau, I got a feeling Trudeau already dons this get up at home, right? Like,
100%.
Can we agree that this is probably already happening in Trudeau's house? That's a good one. Marika sending me this one as well. Google has changed the name again. It's not the Gulf of Mexico anymore. It's the Gulf of Liberal Tears. Isn't that? That's a good one. I quite like that one. Speaking of liberal tears, I got to show you guys a meme that's come in of good old Donald. If you guys want to see the liberal tears. Now, I can't play the audio in this because it does have copyright music, but let's just show Donald getting hydrated, of course, enjoying his time with the liberal tears. Look at this. He's just basking in the liberal tears. We got 4 more years of this, ladies and gentlemen, and they're just going to keep crying. It's so glorious. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Word.
Good old Donald and the liberal tears. We love the liberal tears. They're very hydrating. They're wonderful. Kafifi. Here's a good one that I really like. The media. People that trust the media. I mean, I say it every week, but a picture is sometimes worth 1,000 words. I mean, that one kind of paints a picture, doesn't it?
Oh, Lord.
Doesn't it? This one, Mrs. Fringe sent me. Albertans, rest assured that when it comes to defending your industries and interests, I will never take a knee. Here it is. Justin Trudeau saying the auto sector, dairy sector, aerospace sector, oil and gas industry. Not really a meme at this point anymore, but more just yes. OAO, I saw you posted this on X as well. This is more just the cold hard truth, isn't it? This is kind of where we're at. I like this one. Mrs. Fringe sent me this one, a new bumper sticker. If you voted for Trudeau, follow me to the pump. You can pay. I mean, again,
I want one of those.
it's
Oh man,
that's a good one. In fact, we should almost get those.
We should.
That'd be great. I couldn't agree more with that one. This one's more good for America, for good old America. Nothing says America like cheeseburgers, right? McDonald's is now hiring fired federal employees with Ivy League degrees because, well, they can't get jobs anywhere else. No. They're all getting fired. Trump's firing them all. I love this one. One last meme for good measure. Replacing with Trudeau with another liberal is like shitting your pants at changing your shirt. I mean, you can even see Mark Carney laughing in the background. Yes. Good old Trudeau giving her. He's so sad. Trudeau, of course, leaving office in less than 2 weeks.
Is he? Though?
Apparently, that's the word going around. Wokeness is spreading like a mind virus, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen it all breaking down this week. It's whether you're looking at what's happened in the Canada-America hockey game. Again, we're going to briefly talk about that tonight. Don't want to talk about it too much because we've spent a lot of time on it. But the woke mind virus is alive and well in Canada. We're seeing that diversity, equity, and inclusion always isn't a good option. In fact, Mrs. Fringe has a great article to share with everyone tonight. In fact, I'd seen this one from my good friends at the Western Standard. Corey Morgan tweeted this out this week, and Mrs. Fringe and I thought it was so hilarious by the title alone. We had to share it with you guys. Some of you may have already seen this because it was making its rounds on social media.
Absolutely insane.
Let's take a look at what Mrs. Fringe has to talk about this week.
Oh my God. Okay, so the NDP candidate drops out after saying she wants to be Black to better understand alcoholism and poverty.
That's not racist at all, is it?
Good Lord. The woke mind virus affecting many Canadian progressive politicians, political candidates, academics, and entertainers has become more virulent and embarrassing. Canada has seen a number of people, usually high-profile white women, wanting to become or pretending to be a member of a marginalized group, usually Indigenous, pretendians. Singer Buffy Sainte-Marie is an example. Ontario NDP candidate for the Elgin, Middlesex, London, Amanda Zabitz doesn't claim to be anything she is not, but she wants to be Black. Now she has dropped out of the Ontario election. In recent debate, she said, as a Caucasian woman, I wish that I could identify as a Black woman so I could actually live the experience of living in poverty, facing addiction and alcoholism every single day.
Okay, hold on. Let's back it up a second there. First off, isn't this the party that's always talking about you can identify as anything? So if a man can identify as a woman and use a woman's bathroom, why can't she identify as Black? Second of all, is the reason she's not running because her actual quote says, if I was Black, I could actually live the experience of being in poverty, facing addiction and alcoholism every single day? Is that unreal? Like,
just join the rest of us Canadians and you will gladly be in there.
All she needs to do now is get a little bit of a black mustache under her nose and do the old the old WW2 salute. And my God, I'm going to let you continue. This is just absolutely embarrassing.
Zabitz was responding to a question about supporting vulnerable populations, people experiencing poverty, homelessness, and addiction. She continued expressing frustration with provincial government's policies under Premier Doug Ford, making accusations of legislating people into poverty. Zabitz holds a PhD and teaches Scientology. Sociology. That would be something. At Fanshawe College and Western University in Ontario. She has campaigned on healthcare affordability and social equity, aligning with the Ontario NDP's platform under leader Merritt Stiles. I don't have my glasses. I almost need them today.
It's unreal what is going on when it comes to the woke, because this is pinnacle clown world. Again,
insane.
We're going to get into what's going on with Ruby later on in the show, just to paint a broader picture. But this is a woman who supposedly holds a PhD. So what it's basically stating to you is that you have to have no intelligence. PhD at this point is about as valuable as, again, identifying as somebody who has a PhD. Virtually worthless. What about the ostrich people? Well, I'm sure you could ask this lady where they are. She'll probably draw
She's
you.
NDP, so who cares? Yes.
She'll draw you a map in crayon. This is the party, keep in mind, even though this is the Ontario branch of the NDP, this is the same party that has Naheed Nenshit as their lead representative in Alberta, who says that Danielle Smith is doing a bad job and he wants to run the province. That Marxist who wants to come in and run the province, while other people in her party are holding the country hostage out of a federal election, as well as talking about wanting to identify as Black so they can experience poverty. Poverty. Canadian guy with a $5 super chat. Carney, in comic book guy voice, worst candidate ever. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Mike with the $5 super chat. As an American, just saying, blend into us, guys. States keep a bunch of independence, way more than Ottawa is giving you. You should almost do that as Donald Trump. As an American, just saying, blend into us, guys. State keep a bunch of independence, way more than Ottawa is giving you. It's wonderful. I've seen many people try to blend into the United States, but none quite like Canada.
So how can we become America? Like, how can we move to America these days?
America. We'll just talk to Clyde. He knows all about that.
He knows how to whooped right here.
He knows how to cut and run, doesn't he? I mean,
enough. Play nice.
Come on. I've seen some people try to come to America, but none quite as classy as Canadians, let me tell you. They're fabulous. Love America. God bless America. Speaking of God bless America, I've been going over this entire ordeal with this Canada-US game. In fact, I was talking with one of my colleagues last night about this, a dear friend of mine, and he was saying, like, this is great. The whole Canada versus US, we haven't seen this kind of patriotism or push in hockey. Like, they were more talking about hockey. We haven't seen this kind of uproar in hockey since the 1980s. And isn't it great to see? I said, no, it isn't great to see it.
Because it's becoming more than just hockey. It's not about the sport anymore.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I said it in this week's video earlier, because I don't... It just pops up. You got a Romanian patriot with a $2 super chat. $2 for Mr. Burns. Happy Friday, friends. I gotta get better. I gotta get better at the Mr. Burns.
Practice.
Thank you. Thank you for the $2 super chat. What I've been embarrassed about is that what we're talking about here, and I saw somebody say in the chat earlier, it's freedom of speech to boo at a game. It's childish.
Yeah.
To boo another country's national anthem, boo the team while they're playing, boo bad calls from the ref, boo whatever you want. You don't boo another country's national anthem. You don't disrespect their country. We were talking not too long ago, don't forget, folks, about Palestinian Terrys burning the Canadian flag in Vancouver and stomping on it on the ground, saying death to Canada, death to America.
How is that any different?
How is booing another country's national anthem any different? You might as well spit on their flag while you're at it. I just don't agree with it. Of course, we saw last night.
Hate the government, but don't hate the country. Don't hate the people.
When you look at the game last night, and I know everybody's all happy Canada won. I really don't care who won.
But we're happy.
I said who won.
Cheer for Canada.
We don't care who won.
We love Canada.
I mean, I love my country. I'm happy to see Canada win a game, but at some point we have to realize that this is all part of the plan. This is all part of Mark Carney's plan and Justin Trudeau's plan to divide the sheep once again, just like during the pandemic.
Yeah, so he split the Canadians. Now he's going to split countries.
There you go. There you go. Chantal Kreviazuk, have you guys remember her? She hasn't been popular since 1996. She defends the Shaky O Canada performance lyric change amid the U.S. spat, it says. Now, this article came out. If you guys now, the only reason I brought up this article, I'm not even going to read it because nobody cares about Chantal Kreviazuk. But here, the point being, the changing of the lyrics of O Canada to take a slap at America on American soil, I might add. Very, very disrespectful, very insulting. Made me more embarrassed to be a Canadian at that point, to be honest. And you're talking to a guy who played hockey for 15 years. I love hockey. I love the sport of hockey. I love everything about hockey. But it's just so unsportsmanlike and so disrespectful. When you start going out of your way to change the national anthem, I know we do it in the face of virtue signaling, but now to change the national anthem to slap Americans around, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's proper.
Keep politics out of sports.
Yeah.
Politics should stay in politics, period.
It's so sad to see because this is the time, and people have been saying it in the comments, that our American viewers have been saying, we're trying to help you. We understand that there's a separate group of people that are woke, that are doing this, that are behaving like this. But we've pointed out to great extent how this is part of Justin Trudeau treating this like the pandemic by saying, Team Canada, let's go. We're all on the same page. Buy Canadian. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. But this is what it's resulted in. Look, I want to show you guys this. This took place at the game. I'm not going to play the audio again because it's very loud. But here you've got an American and a Canadian now fighting in the stands over politics. Over politics. This is what we're turning into. Therese saying, let your wife talk a little. You know what's funny about this?
The wife's shy.
The wife is the one who has said take over for the majority of the stream.
I gave him little taps. No, don't make me do it.
I mean, Mrs. Fringe likes sitting in the stream and chatting with everybody and hearing what they have to say. But when it comes to
you are much smarter than I am.
It's not smarter. It's seasoned, I would say.
Yes.
We're getting Mrs. Fringe comfortable with the streams.
When I have my own desk and own computer, I'll be different. Maybe
she'll definitely be a little more.
I definitely need a chair.
Present in the streams as soon as the move happens, as soon as we get the studio going. Aaron Morrison, $5 super chat. Keep the faith, folks. The children government will meet the consequences. This I can assure you. I appreciate the $5 super chat.
I do hope that they do, like karma comes back on them seriously because they've done so much damage.
It has to at some point. John Doe, Derek, I believe that it was instigated, the booing being played over the speaker system. It's
and there's people saying that, Justin Trudeau was there and he started the booing and whatever the case is, which that would shock me, honestly. But It's ridiculous.
I love how people keep mentioning your chair. Listen, I'm going to say it again.
I can't sit in one spot for so long.
Listen, guys.
I need a fidget chair.
Miss Fringe doesn't want a chair. She doesn't want it.
I don't want to spend the money.
We tried. Walking around Costco, different stores. I'm like, Tiffany, just sit in the chair. It's comfy. You'll like it.
Your sense of comfy and my sense of comfy are different.
She sat on this hill. She said, look, we're selling the house. We're moving. We're going to build a studio. We're going to invest in the future of this channel. I don't want nothing until we do that, because I don't want to move a bunch of crap with us and everything else.
And I don't want to spend money that we don't need to spend.
I get it.
SMRT.
Bottom line, guys, you don't boo a national anthem.
Like, when you have a choice, just be kind. Why do we have to just pit ourselves against each other all the time?
You gotta love your country. But at the end of the day, the Canadian anthem doesn't need lyric changes. It's got to have more cowbell.
You're going to start a war here against the Fringe if you keep doing that.
We're going to start. I'm going to have to get walking. Guys.
Walking needs to get walking.
Guys, throw one in the chat if you want walking to stick around.
Stop.
Without Miss Fringe poking me every 10 minutes saying, shut up, walking.
Oh.
Walking is words of wisdom.
Walking is walking.
How walking's going to be walking away. Let's get into the stream. Let's get more into the news. Let's talk about what happened with Ruby Dhalla.
Oh.
Everybody is savage silence to keep doing it.
No.
Do it again. Now we're going to do something different. And now for something completely different. You guys want to know what really grinds my gears? This has already hit the news. This is already people talking about this in huge groups already. People asking, Derek, did you hear this? In fact, we went for dinner before the show because we had like 1 million house viewings today. We had to be out of the house. So we were sitting at dinner. My phone was going off every 10 seconds.
Ping, ping.
And we have a rule at dinner, don't touch the phones.
Yes.
Now, I was trying to keep up with what was going on with the house viewings, trying to make sure all the appointments got in. So
somebody broke the rule.
I knew when we could go home. I really broke the rule because every 5 seconds I had people texting me, did you hear what happened to Ruby Dhalla? Yes, we've heard. We're going to talk about it. This is not a text. This is a tweet coming out directly from Ruby. Now, I've reached out to Ruby's camp. I would like to get Ruby on the channel. We were trying to work out an interview at one point, but then this happened. So I'll see if we can get Ruby on the channel at some point. I got to be honest. I don't back liberals. I don't like the liberals. No. But Ruby came off very based for a liberal. I actually almost liked her campaign at one point. Like, I was starting to buy in a little bit, going, hey, if this is how she wants to talk about things.
But it doesn't mean that you would vote her over Pierre.
I wouldn't vote for her over Pierre. But what I'm saying is that
liberal.
I like the trolling. I like the memes. I like that she's trying to get that younger vote. I know everybody makes fun of the face, the Botox, everything. I'm going to take her at value for what she was talking about. As a liberal stands, she definitely painted a better picture of liberals. Everybody's got to admit that. Here's what she tweeted out today. I've just been informed by the Liberal Party of Canada that I've been disqualified from the leadership race. This decision is both shocking and deeply disappointing, especially since it was leaked to the media. So again, it was given to the media before she was even told she was disqualified. This is how you know it's all a setup. The allegations that the party have used against me are false and fabricated. The tactics used to remove me from this race only confirm what we already knew. Our message was resonating, we were winning, and the establishment felt threatened. One day, it was foreign interference. One day, it was campaign violations, all in an attempt to keep me from debating Mark Carney and winning. I've said this before. The dude can't carry a conversation. That's why he's going to fall head over heel when he has to debate Pierre Poilievre. I'm sure he'll find a way to turn tail on that one, too.
100% he will. He's already got, like, his little videos against Pierre and all this crap. It's a lot of BS going on.
She ends with, I'll continue to stand up for Canadians and fight for Canada. Well, I'm not so sure about that one, but it says here, the establishment and the Liberal Party of Canada clearly wants to hold on to power. They could not handle the fact that I was the only obstacle to Mark Carney's coronation, both at the debate and at the ballot. The reason now I've got a clip of Ruby we're going to play. I want to show, but this is what I don't understand is why we're even waiting until March 9th at this point. I mean, why don't they just come out and say, guys, look, y'all know what we're doing. It's just Mark Carney's the leader. That's where we're leaving it. We're not going to have an election. We're not going to have a vote.
Why bother with this charade?
Well, I can almost tell you part of why, one of them at least, right after I get to Mike. $5 super chat. We're just like you. We don't want the state next to us because of sports usually, but we're all American if anybody attacks.
Exactly. North America has always been like America and Canada has always been something that stands together.
Vibersonic saying Ruby would have been a safer choice than the
Yes.
others until proper elections happened. Much more centered campaign. I like her. She was railroaded.
Exactly.
Joe asking, who are you voting for in the upcoming leadership race now? Well, here's the problem. I'm not going to get into drama with other channels. But other channels had said, hey, we don't want to do these memberships for the Liberal Party because it's violating people's democratic rights. Isn't that what the Liberal Party just did when they kicked out Chandra Era, when they kicked out Ruby Dhalla? That they're not giving us the right to vote. They're not allowing us. They're just putting on a dog and pony show.
Yeah.
And other people want to talk about the democratic process. I got news for anybody. It doesn't exist in this country anymore.
No.
This is why we started this, to prove that it doesn't exist.
Everything's pre-planned, everything's scripted, everything's already done and decided for us.
$2 super chat from Canadian guy. Carney is the liberal version of Tim Hudak. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry if that's like somebody that everybody knows. I don't know who that is, but I'll take your word for it. Are they being kicked out or are they stepping out? They're being kicked out. They're being removed. Here's the other thing, which somebody told me supposedly. It's been mildly confirmed that the entry fee that both Chandra Era as well as Ruby Dhalla had to pay is kept. They don't give that back. They don't say, well, we kicked you out, so here's your money back. They hang on to that. That's almost $1 million between the two of them.
It's a little
That the Liberal
sketchy
Party,
to me.
Liberal Party gets to put in their coffers. How's that fair? So essentially, I'm assuming at this point, it's safe to assume that the Liberal Party started this robust process so that they could just disqualify anybody who got in Mark's way and swallow up a bunch of extra funds because they can't raise any money as a platform. There's Joe saying it's $1.5 million.
Krista M is saying that she gets 50,000 back. That's not even close to what she put in.
Oh,
though.
good. Well, I'm glad she gets something back. No, I'm not knocking what you said,
No.
Krista. I'm saying for the Liberals.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a scam. It's so scripted.
Ingrid Stewart with $5 super chat. Liberals steal from the Conservative Party all the time. Christy Clark admitted it with Pierre Poilievre's campaign that she went in purposely to derail his process. And one of the things these other channels said was, we'd be just as upset if they were doing it to our side of the fence, wouldn't we? They're doing it to themselves. They're doing it to themselves. They're rigging their own election. They're not just dismantling another one.
They're rigging their own election so they can continue to steal from the taxpayers.
Mike saying YouTube wouldn't allow me to say, come join us. Weird. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It's I think that as soon as, like Snatch is saying, it's pay to play. I think as soon as you give that fee and they accept you into the race, and Ruby has shown her receipts. It was some kind of, so first they were saying, and you guys saw the video earlier this week, where they said that they're worried about interference from India, right? Now they turn around and say, well, you took donations because there's a maximum that you can donate. And she said what happened was apparently one family, a wife used a credit card to make a donation. Another husband, or the husband in that family, used the same credit card to make his max contribution. So because it came from the same credit card, that's a violation of how donations are collected. She's saying, no, it's not. It's in the rules. We submitted everything to Elections Canada. So it was on the up and up. But this is where it goes back to what other channels were saying, that the Liberals can essentially disqualify you for anything. They can kick you out. So again, when we go back to the question of a democratic process, free and fair elections, where is it free and fair?
So just come out and say it. She was too much of a competition. They needed her gone.
what they might as well do at this point, because I already seen the plebs saying it earlier. Does this mean we go for Christia now because Christia wouldn't stand up to Poilievre? She's going to concede to Mark Carney. It doesn't matter right now. All that's left is Mark Carney, Mark Carney, Mark Carney. Nobody should even bother at this point. And I hate saying that. But nobody should bother at this point because look at what they've done.
Still have to try and do something.
What people should be doing at this point, what honestly people should be doing is flooding the federal courts, calling lawyers, talking about a class action suit, trying to find some way to ask somebody with some integrity in this country, why are these guys never facing charges when they're flaunting the corruption straight in our face? Like they're literally saying we're rigging the vote and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let's take a listen to what Ruby had to say.
Oh, she's so fake.
Because she was told that this had to do with her Indian heritage yesterday.
Today has been a really emotional day after reading about these allegations. To all those that think that there may have been any foreign interference in my campaign, I want to make it very clear that there has been none. I am of Indian ethnicity. It doesn't make me any less Canadian than anyone else who may not have my skin color. These allegations are baseless, and I will never allow anyone to use my ethnicity, my heritage, my culture, and misconstrue that for foreign interference. I am in this race to make history as the first woman of color in Canada to become our nation's prime minister. I have entered this leadership race to bring our party back to the center, and most importantly, to stand up for Canadians and fight for Canada. I look forward to seeing all of you in Montreal on Monday and Tuesday.
So, of course, she won't be in Montreal because she's not going to be allowed to debate Mark Carney. This is where, again, people should forget booing national anthems. People should be at these debates.
Yeah.
People should be everywhere booing these guys.
Yeah, the government is the issue.
They talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. We see what happened with Jody Wilson-Raybould. I know the SNC thing that's going on now. But they kicked Jody Wilson-Raybould under the bus. Trudeau threw Chrystia Freeland under the bus. Now Ruby Dhalla is told, well, we want diversity, equity, and inclusion in this country. We want women's rights. We want gender equality. But as soon as you come from another country and we can use that as a weapon, we're going to say, well, now's the time to be racist. Now's the time we're not going to allow that into your connections to India. What about Jagmeet Singh's connections to India? When has that ever been an issue? The fact that Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau have been funded by K-Stan, and there's actual paperwork for that supporting those documents.
Because that's not a threat against the vote. It doesn't matter.
MJW re-upping for a month. It's sad Ruby is out. We can all make sure to not put Carney's name down.
Yes.
That's about the only thing we can do at this point. Mike with another $5 super chat. The powers that be are trying to keep us from merging. Living in Montana is very different than living in New York City.
Yeah.
States rule down here. So I understand the states work in different ways. The problem when we talk about a 51st state is that unless Trump were to bring in the military, kind of how Russia's doing with the Ukraine. I know people say, don't say the Ukraine, slip of the tongue. Unless Trump wants to liberate Canada with force, it would take about 20 years. I know people say Trump could speed up the process and things like that. It's just not.
Trump thinks he's going to go in for a third term. I think he's a little off his rocker.
I think there's ways that they can do it. Here's the thing. And if something could be done, why shouldn't he? Because this is the problem, is that we're seeing right now with the Liberals, even in Canada, they're prepared to use every loophole to their advantage. They're prepared to skate on every technicality that they can in order to stay in power. I mean, we showed today how Mark Carney and Karina Gould are already laying out the groundwork that these tariffs are going to cause them to delay the election to 2026. And this is where I'm saying, guys, it's not doom and gloom to say that we're screwed. You know, we're going to get Mark Carney as a prime minister. But this gives him roughly a year and a half to just do whatever he wants to this country.
Dilla Gift Brothers Contracting. Skin color does not define race. It does not.
No. This is all part of the plan to push universal basic income onto Canadians for Carney to dismantle the country.
You'll have nothing and you'll be happy. It's all about the narrative.
Yeah, I see what people are saying about the gender politics, but you have to realize there's a reason she's mentioning it. The reason she's mentioning it is because the Liberals push so hard for that stuff. It's defining the hypocrisy of their mission statement. Why is it that anytime somebody gets a gain on Mark Carney, they're disqualified? Chandra Era is disqualified because he refuses to speak French. Mark Carney doesn't speak French very well. He's brushing up on it. So why wasn't Carney disqualified until his French became more prudent? Well, because they're installing him. It has nothing to do with any of that. When you look at Chrystia Freeland, when you look at Karina Gould on their campaign trails, they haven't been anywhere. They haven't been doing rallies. They haven't been talking to people
They're
or
not actually
constituents.
trying. They're just there to push Carney up.
They're there to push Carney. So it doesn't matter who you vote for. I guarantee you. Now, I already called that Ruby was going to get disqualified, but I'm going to call it right now. If everybody were to vote for, say, Chrystia Freeland, hoping that people will say, oh, yuck, I'm not voting for her to be prime minister.
She'll drop out of the race, and then those votes
She'll
will
drop
go to
out
Carney.
and it'll go to Mark Carney. I guarantee you she'll concede to Mark Carney in a New York minute. It's all set up for Mark Carney.
Yeah.
And they've pointed that out by disqualifying Ruby. They weren't prepared to have an actual robust democratic process.
It's a poorly scripted show.
It's scripted worse than WWE at this point. Savage Silence, $2. What does that say? Because Jaggy's their little honey bitch? Well, the problem is it's laughable at best. For one thing, guys, as far as this goes across as being negative, you have to find it a little humorous that they're that scared that Mark Carney can't win an election. They have to rig the race in order for him just to take over Justin Trudeau's job. That's laughable. That's laughable. What isn't laughable is the fact that we already know, and somebody had mentioned it in my comments earlier today, saying that I'm fear-mongering by not putting faith that Jagmeet Singh is the wild card here. I'm sorry, that guy has turned tail on anybody who's willing to give him a check from day one. We already know Jagmeet Singh will not vote in favor of an election.
100%. He goes back on his words every time.
He's not a wild card. He's a bought and paid for sellout Marxist. Marxist Carney is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada until we have a federal election. And even then, we'll see what happens with the shenanigans. Maybe they'll disqualify Pierre Poilievre, right? Canadian guy, $5 super chat. Like I said, Carney knows as much as as a turd Ferguson does. You're an asshole. Pardon my French.
You're an ass bite.
Turd Ferguson. Yeah, what do you want? Michael, $5 super chat. I understand the reluctance to give your sovereignty to the U.S., but are you any better being ruled by Ottawa? No. What I would really love is just, and I've said it before. Oh, look at that. That's a nice super chat. Thank you, Reg. Spruce Grove loves the Fringe.
We can't wait to be in Spruce Grove.
We're going to be there soon.
Hopefully.
Thank you for the $2 super chat. What I would love to see happen, what I would really love to see happen, is now that Ruby's out of this race, I want to see Pierre Poilievre push back on that. I want him to point that out. He needs to start going hard. Real hard. And gunning, saying, this is why we need an election. This is why our country is corrupt. I'm telling you right now, and I said to Mrs. Fringe on the way over here to do this stream on the way home today, the bad part is I can't really talk about this to great degree because it's kind of inciting violence, but I'm shocked nothing has happened to date to any of these politicians that are flaunting their corruption in our face. What I'm thinking is going to happen, and I'm not condoning it, I'll be very clear on that, because I can't, is that once they continue to delay elections, once they continue to push, somebody's going to snap.
Maybe that's why they're taking our shovels.
If they want to talk about wackos, there are some wackos that are off their meds in this country that I'm pretty sure will be pushed right over the bloody edge. One person will be willing to go to jail to do something.
There's a lot of people on our approved meds too.
Oil Patch Mark with a $7 super chat. We need an election now. Yeah. I sure hope they lose party status. I do too. it's Data Hole with a $2, just a couple loonies for the tip jar. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Here's the thing about Jagmeet Singh. You've seen the videos of him riding his bicycle through Ottawa, smiling, having a good time. People heckling him. He doesn't care. I guarantee you that if he does not, after putting through that letter at Christmas saying he's voting non-confidence, if he doesn't do it, he shouldn't be riding his bike around anymore. That's the best advice I could probably give. If at least I wouldn't be riding my bike around town if I were him. Carbon Tax Carson with $5 super chat. I'm starting to think Mike is Trump or Elon. 500 thumbs up for some free memberships. Guys, have we not hit 500 likes yet in the stream? Are we not there yet?
No, if Mike were Trump or Elon. I mean, Mike's an awesome American, so we'll take it, but that'd be cool.
It's oh,
maybe I'm not the one who needs medications, right?
oh, they all need medications. Come on. Ruby got disqualified. The corruption runs so deep. Yeah, Dave, you must be joining us a little late. Yeah, we just went through some of that. It's Donovan saying, gotta have more walking if you want more likes. Oh,
no walking, Mr. Bear.
No more walking.
No more walking.
They're saying no more walking. Miss Fringe doesn't like me. I can't even score a date.
You will never again if you keep it up.
With Miss Fringe, it's crazy. The clip of Jagmeet Singh saying when he's prime minister, Jagmeet has a good chance of being just as good a chance of being Canadian prime minister as I do being the Queen of England.
Yes. That's why they all laughed at him when he said it.
In today's clown world, I don't discount anything.
True.
I don't. Because it's not even what they've shown us tonight is it's not even about free and fair elections. There's no democratic process.
They're all appointed, not voted in.
It's selected, not elected.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Carney even said it in the video we showed today. When I'm selected, I mean elected. Ooh, when I'm selected, I mean elected.
Did he really say that?
Of course he did. Good old Charles Montgomery Burns. I'm going to be the next prime minister of Canada. There's Mike $5 super chat. I only have 8 kids. Elon has 13. Mike, do you seriously only have 8 kids? 8 kids only? Come on. Wow. God.
I'm dying at 3.
We've had 3 and I'm dying. I'm dying over here. It's
if
crazy.
You want 3 more, let us know.
It's 8 kids. Yikes. Prep Rebel Actual, $70 super chat. The Liberals and NDP both need to lose party status.
Yes,
Thank you for that amazing super chat. Hit that thumbs up. Do you guys not want free memberships? I mean, Carson's always so good at looking after the chat. The country basically, ladies and gentlemen, is going to hell. They're allowed to flaunt whatever they want. Rest assured, Fringe is going to be here to bring you everything as it happens. I want to talk about Dean Blundell for a minute. We're going to get off Mark Carney. We're going to get off all the negative. JD saying, my vote was for Ruby. I'm pissed now.
Yeah.
Who to vote for? I don't know. I don't know. I'd say Freeland, I guess. I think that's where the pleb's headed. Because
but then she backs out and
she'll just back out and give it to Carney at this point. I don't think there's any stopping Mark Carney. There just isn't.
It wouldn't surprise me if everybody else automatically backs out and then it's just Carney.
Yeah, Carney versus Carney. Carney will disqualify himself.
Yeah.
And then Justin will stay on. We're going to talk about that.
Oh.
We're going to talk about that. Trudeau's economy, $2 super chat. Losing party status doesn't mean anything. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Dean Blundell. You guys don't know much about Dean Blundell. This guy's a piece of work. We talked earlier about the booing in the national anthem and how disgraceful it is to be Canadian. You see what Dean Blundell's doing on Twitter today? If you guys aren't on Twitter, he's talking about Trump's press secretary. Really not his shining moment.
They've got there.
I want to put Dean on blast because Dean, he's got another thing coming here. Jody, $10 super chat. As far as people snapping, just wait and see the loonies on the left go off the deep end when they see everything Carney has said was a lie, and they are now in really deep doo-doo.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, when it comes to that, is they're talking about all these billions in stimulus they want to print. UBI. They want to get people on free money. It's essentially like giving food to fat people, hoping that as long as they're fed, they won't attack you, right? What is it? Bread and circus. It's Pleb and Clyde are starting a new show together in Ohio. I highly doubt that. I know for a fact Clyde does not like the Pleb.
Vice versa, I'm sure.
I don't think Clyde likes anybody. I think yikes. The only thing I could see Clyde doing in Ohio is running backwards naked through a corn patch. That being said, let's get on to Dean Blundell. Let's get on to Dean. Dean Blundell, talking about Trump's press secretary. This is nasty. Comes out today. I wanted to put Dean on blast because this is just inappropriate as hell. Michelle tweeting out, why is Dean Blundell such a piece of shit? Of course, good old Ryan Garrettson tweeting out, this guy's scum. He tweets out just a picture of the press secretary. Sorry, forgive me. I forgot her name. I apologize. I watch a ton of her clips. She's absolutely fabulous. He says, I bet she's suck the chrome off a bumper for a paycheck or for Jesus. Now, this is a knock at the fact that she's always wearing a crucifix around her neck, displaying that she's for God and country. During her, oh, there it is. Here it is. Karina Levitt.
There you go.
Thank you, J-Bye. Appreciate that. Saying she could suck the chrome off a bumper for a paycheck. Dean Blundell is the biggest hack to ever grace Canada's soil. Dean is garbage. I would encourage everybody to go over to Dean Blundell and tell him just what you think of him for that one. I wanted to put Dean on blast. That was definitely. Clyde's doing collaborations with Jasmine Lane. Love that woman. She's like a female Jordan Peterson. We were supposed to have Jasmine on the channel this week. Maybe that's why she said she was double booked. Maybe she was doing something with Clyde. Maybe that's it. So I'm not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it. People have a nasty habit of saying, you can't be friends with people I don't like. Dean Blundell, of course, supports people like Justin Trudeau. This was tweeted out earlier this week. Canadians are now sharing this photo on X begging Justin Trudeau to retract his resignation as Prime Minister with the hashtag please stay Justin. Now at this point, I would almost prefer Trudeau stays because Poilievre would demolish him. I mean, Ryan Garrettson tweeting this out saying this is the most hilarious propaganda you'll see today. Can you believe that this is apparently happening?
But he's planning on resigning. He hasn't.
He intends to resign.
Intends to. So
he
it's not like he's actually
resign.
done it.
It's the division that's going on between Canada and the US right now for Justin Trudeau's agenda is absolutely insane. It's got to stop. We got to stop this. I was talking to Mrs. Fringe about this earlier.
You're talking to me about a lot of things today.
A lot of things. But something that I can't fathom. You know, my dear friend Tamara Leach is always saying we need to unify. We need to stick together. We need to hold Canadian values. We need to show that we're better. We need to defend our country. We need to stand up for our sovereignty. But we need to do it in the right way that gets the message across that we're still all together. And I understand their message. But when you see what's going on with the leadership campaign, when you see what's going on with the corruption, when you see the proroguing of Parliament, that we haven't had a working government in almost a year, a functioning government. Another 3 months, 3.5 months, and it'll be a full year since our government went to work. Yet all of them are still getting paid. Here's my question. If this country is still functioning almost a year later without them, why do we need them? Why do we even need the government?
What are they doing?
It seems to me like they don't do anything besides sit in a building and act like school children and get a paycheck and pad their investment portfolios.
Yeah.
That's all it seems to me is going on. The problem when we talk about unifying, when we talk about all being under the guise of the Canadian flag and saying that we love our country. I love my country. But when does it go from we need to unify to we need to take action? We need to fix this problem ourselves if we're constantly going to be abused by the government. Like, are we supposed to just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for an election to be called? Are we supposed to keep waiting while they steal billions of dollars? Are we supposed to just sit and unify while they continue to steal from us and put their boots on our necks and charge us every dollar that we make into taxes? Jody with a $5 super chat. Easy to vote your way into a dictatorship. You have to fight your way out. The problem is I don't see anybody fighting.
We don't know how.
We, as a country, are more worried about being on social media than holding our government accountable. I've seen it on tons of channels. People saying, I'm not going to vote. It doesn't matter. I don't see the point. I'm not getting a membership because it's disgusting. I'm not going to do my part because it's so corrupt anyways. You know, I'm not going to call my MPs or because they'll just hang up on me or they'll ignore my emails or they're not going to do anything. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to hit that threshold when people say, I got no other choice? I'm going to lose my home. I'm going to lose my livelihood. I'm going to lose everything I care about. I'm going to lose my country. Like the joke of the 51st state, the humor that it began with. And
I thought it was a joke.
We talked about it being a joke for about a week and a half.
And then it wasn't.
And then it got serious. Like, it's a pretty serious thing to start saying, I wish somebody would come in and take our country. Is it not?
Like, who actually wants that to happen?
Mike with another $5 super chat. As an American, we love you, Canada. We just hate the idiots that made it to the top of your politics.
Yes.
We do too. But again, when you look at everything we've shown tonight with Ruby, this is how they got there. It's all them gaining the system. They're the new mafia. This is what I keep saying.
And they keep changing the rules and the laws to favor themselves.
Here's one Lee's chiming in with. Wait until April 1st.
Oh.
It'll be much harder for people. But again, people are just going to go on social media and say, I can't believe I'm broke because of the carbon tax.
And then what do you do about it?
Then what? Then what? I'm telling you, this is why I've been saying, and I'll use the same analogy because I think it's the best way to describe it, that whenever you lose your contract with your cell phone, the cell phone provider always comes to you and they kiss your butt. And they say, please sign another contract. We'll do anything. We'll give you lower rates. We'll give you a new phone, new shiny phone. We'll give you all these wonderful features that we wouldn't before. And you start thinking to yourself, why is it that you're trying to give me all of this stuff now? But a year ago, you didn't want to work with me at all. You just told me to shut up and pay my bill.
But as soon as you sign.
That's right, because I'm in a contract.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the government right now. Pierre Poilievre and his conservatives are hoping for your votes. They're still getting a paycheck while Parliament is prorogued. People should be telling them, if you want to keep enjoying that paycheck, if you want to keep enjoying all the wonderful things and benefits that you get as an MP in the House of Commons, because again, you're demonstrating to us that this government doesn't even need to be functioning for this country to survive because you've all been on holiday since June. What the hell are you doing to get my vote? If I'm going to sign a 4-year contract, what are you going to give me? What are you going to do to make my life better? The pressure needs to be on them. I've said it time and time again that Pierre needs to pick it up a bit. He needs to stop attacking Donald Trump. He needs to come back to the insults, the quips. He's got to get passionate about what he's doing.
Yeah. Right now, it just feels like he's reading a script.
He's got to come back to being one of us, not one of them.
One of us. One of us.
Canadian guy, $2 super chat. The libs make me want to picture the flag burning. Well,
Right.
that's a little extreme, but I want, like, and AJ says it here. He needs to put Canadians first. He keeps talking about Canada first. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me Canada first. Go out there and say, like, Pierre should realize that with this whole, again, Ruby Dhalla, he should be coming out and using that to his advantage right now, saying, look how corrupt these guys are. They won't even let their own candidates run against them because they're about to lose to them. They're rigging their elections. They've scandalized all this money out of Canadians' pockets. We didn't even get to investigate SDTC because they shut down Parliament. He should be using this as a fulcrum to get his votes coming in again, saying, why would anybody want to put these clowns in power? Why would anybody want to give the vote to them? Why would anybody continue giving the vote to Jagmeet Singh and the NDP? What he should be branding right now, forget the slogans, he should be coming out and saying, I am the only hope you have at salvation, at a better life. Because these guys are showing you, plain and simple in black and white, they're not going to give it to you. They're only going to give to themselves. If Pierre came out and did that tomorrow and stuck to that attack plan for the next 6 months, forget a super majority, he'd put those other parties out of business. That's what Canada wants. A lot of people are saying, look, he's talking about Trump the way he is because, again, it all comes down to one little section of the country that decides who's in power. He's trying to avoid conflict and losing those votes by kind of playing the game a little bit and being more reserved about it. I don't want reserved. Canadians are fed up. Be a lion. Jordan Peterson says it best. Be a monster. Don't be an abusive monster. Don't be a fearful monster, but be the best monster you can to get the point across that you mean business. That's what Pierre needs. Neil with a $5 super chat. Canadians used to be the wealthiest middle class in the world. Now we're not even the top 10. We can and need to do that again. Pierre needs to pick it up. Thank you so much.
Yep.
For the super chat. I agree. I've Mark Carney's starting to use slogans. In fact, it's really funny because Pierre came out this week making fun of Mark Carney for being on the slogan train. And it's like, really? You're gonna mention slogans? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people saying, hey, Derek, the slogans work. Fine, fair enough. I get it. It's programming. I get how the slogans work. But what I'm saying is what Pierre needs to do now. Drop the slogans and just go on the warpath. Don't emulate Trump, but be the version of Trump that Canada needs. And if people are going to compare you to him, start using that to your advantage. Start saying, do you see what Donald Trump is doing with Doge? Do you see what Donald Trump is doing for the American economy right now? Would that be such a bad thing if I was like him? That's what I want to do for Canada. I want to open up our trade. I want to make us a wealthy country. I want to invest in our jobs. I want to make your lives better. If you're going to say that Donald Trump is terrible, go have your TDS medication. But if you want to look at straight economics, if you want to look at the betterment of your future life, would it be so terrible if I was like Donald Trump? See what the people have to say about that. Look back to his Apple interview when he said people are comparing you to Donald Trump. Well, who are they? I don't know. The guy couldn't come up with a valid argument. It'd be the same thing. Why would it be so bad that I'm like Donald Trump? Well, Trump creates wars. He goes and acts tough on other countries. Well, maybe we need to start doing that. We don't need to create wars, but we definitely need to be tough on other countries. Mike with another $5 super chat. Resource-wise, Canada should be the wealthiest country in the world. Yeah. We should be an economic powerhouse. Saved by Grace with a $14 super chat. I'm from Soviet Union. I'm from Soviet Union. Sorry I'm not making fun of you. I see the writing on the wall. We're one step away from a communist dictatorship and people being put away as enemies of the state. I've lived through it. We keep warning people about that. Thank you for the super chat. This is the greatest comment all night. I got to say it. I've heard Derek say some awesome arguments, but he's on fire tonight. How? On fire. Oh no, he's on fire. You guys ever play NBA Jam? Love NBA Jam. That's my jam. When we look at the country right now, what Pierre needs is a rebranding. And again, I know his people. I know his people watch the channel. I've reached out to his people this week. I said,
and I know you're not the only one saying this either.
No, not the only one saying this. I spoke to his people this week and said, why don't you just come look at the comments?
Yeah.
When we talk about this stuff, see what the people are saying. They said, we got it.
But when they comment,
we got it.
I look at comments under his stuff on LinkedIn, and it's the same. People are tired of it.
When they tell me we got it, I just go, you guys are blind. You're blind.
They don't got it.
You're blind. You're throwing away.
Listen to the people.
It's if you're going to say that you understand what people want, you have to listen to people at some point. The problem that we're fighting right now is the end of wokeness. We're fighting the end of the left. And the majority of the votes that he needs to push in order for him to be in charge are in that demographic. So I understand the battle that they're playing right now. I understand the pandering. I understand the speeches he's giving. Again, he went to the hockey game that everybody was booing at. People were cheering him on. People love him. He's good. He's got charisma. He knows how to hold an argument. He has data on his side. He always knows his facts. Let him off the leash. I'm begging you, Conservative Party, let him off the leash. Let that man cook. Let him show you what kind of a Canadian he is, and I guarantee you, you won't need another sit. If he keeps up that attitude, Canada will have his back for a long time to come, so long as he follows through with his promises. But if he wants to play safe politics, going up against corruption, because that's what it is now with the dismissal of Ruby Dhalla. This is a corrupt mafia juggernaut we're going against at this point. And I said the same thing when people said, Derek, why are you trampling on democracy? Why are you pushing people to get Liberal Party memberships? It's so childish. And you guys can quote me. I said, sometimes when you fight evil, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to play dirty. And Pierre, at some point here, is going to have to decide when to take the kid gloves off and get his hands dirty. Plain and simple. If he wants to win that election, and I said this on Wednesday night's Unhinged Fringe, we're either going to end up as China or we're going to end up as America. Which one's it going to be? America is doing great things right now. I'm so envious of their country. I'm so envious of their country and the leadership they have right now and just how quickly things are turning around. I'm envious to sit there and say, I wish our country would do the same bloody thing. But at some point, Pierre's got to take the kid gloves off and say, it's time to get to work. If I'm going to put Canada first, I have to be willing to risk my name. I have to be willing to risk my reputation and say what every Canadian is thinking. And hopefully those that I'm trying to get the votes for understand and agree. If you're going to play it safe all the time, what I worry about is, are you going to play it safe when you're prime minister? Because the people who vote you in,
they don't want safe.
The people who bought into the playing safe the whole time, the people who flip-flopped from maybe NDP or Liberal over to Conservative because you were playing it safe, if you change all of a sudden once you're prime minister, those people are going to be pissed. They're not going to vote for you again.
We want somebody who's aggressive. We need somebody who's aggressive.
We've had 10 years of abuse. Trump came in on Joe Biden after 4 years, pulled off the belt and said, Daddy's home, and he slapped the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even done. We're only a month in.
Yeah. That's what I want.
We're only a month in. That's what I want in Canada. I want Pierre Poilievre to win a supermajority, kick the doors down of Justin's office and say, pack your shit and get the hell out of here. Daddy's home. I'm going to smack you with my pee-pee. Get out.
Now I want that in a shirt, please. I want that in a shirt.
I want pee-pee to smack Justin with his pee-pee and tell him to get out.
I want that.
Hit the road, Jack. You're done. Take your foreign bankers with you. Take
Daddy's home.
Mark Carney tweeting out this week about how proud he is of Canada, how proud he is to be Canadian. That the piece of shit hasn't lived here for 11 years.
He doesn't even know what Canada is
He
anymore.
holds 3 passports.
Yeah.
That's like me going to McDonald's and saying, give me a Big Mac because I'm vegan. You fucking high? Pardon my French, but Jesus.
He ruined the last two
and there's
countries. He's got to make
blasphemy.
another one.
Now I'm shouting out blasphemy because
Yeah,
I'm just
come on.
I'm frazzled. I'm frazzled. And Donovan says, what a joke. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke.
It's like living in a bad nightmare right now.
I say it to people all the time. People say you're living in a dream world. I say that this is a dream world. I'm in a nightmare.
It's like a horrible reality show. Scripted.
Pee-pee in your face, balls across the nose. I want full essay on Justin Trudeau's ego. Get him out. Bite the pillow.
Oh, it's going on dry.
It's over. Mike, a $5 super chat. We don't really want you as a state, just a sane neighbor.
Yes.
Listen.
We want to be a neighbor.
I've said it every single time. In fact, this last summer, we went to Grand Mound, Washington, which was just south of Seattle. It's about 2 hours away from Portland, Oregon. Or not Portland. Where is it that they filmed the Goonies?
You're asking the wrong person.
Astoria.
There you go.
There it is. Tip of my tongue. We're 2 hours away from Astoria. We took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge. And as I was hanging around, even though it's a leftist state, it's a blue state, I still drove around. You see these giant American flags waving everywhere. You see people wearing American flag pants, just like Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, anybody want a roundhouse to the face while I'm wearing these bad boys? You see people so
It's like that all over America.
in
It's
love
wonderful.
with their country. And I said to Tiffany, like, don't you just wish it could be like this in Canada? And these guys aren't even Republican.
You see everybody's flags in Canada, except for Canadians.
If the Libs win again, should I move to Oklahoma?
Yes.
I don't know the lyrics to that Broadway song, but I don't know where to select to tell people to move to. You know what would be great is if Donald Trump just finally said, if you want to claim asylum and you have a Canadian passport, not if you're from Durkistan or if you're from anywhere else, if you have a Canadian passport and you want to claim asylum, come on over the border. We'll take you.
Yes.
We'll take you.
He's booting everybody out, though.
It's the process to move to America is so expensive and so long that if he just said, we're going to speed up the process for any Canadians who want away from that dictatorship, if we can't absorb the country, we'll at least give you the same offer we're going to give to all the businesses we're going to steal, and we're going to say you're free to come over. Surrender your Canadian passport.
Yeah.
How many people, and it's not that I would want to, the question is, if that was offered, how many people in Canada that are bona fide Canadians that carry a Canadian passport, how many people do you think would take Trump up on that offer? Seriously. We subscribe, but we need to pay to get our questions answered. Stephen, no.
No.
This isn't, I'm not going to say it.
It's not pay to play.
It's not pay to play. The chat moves very quickly. We simulcast on multiple platforms. So what you see on YouTube, the chat isn't moving at the same speed as YouTube. It's moving significantly faster. So I'm sorry if I've missed your questions. I'm also trying to look at the camera while I'm talking to you guys. So if I'm missing your questions, I apologize. No, you don't need to pay to play.
No.
The super chats get picked out because they have to be, and they're highlighted in bold colors.
But you've been pointing out a lot of chats tonight, so.
MK Archives. I won't solve the problem that Trump don't want a communist North neighbor. Well, but here's the thing, MK Archives. At least if Trump gave people the right to claim asylum and move, then he could come in and cripple Canada and say, we're just going to put tariffs out the wazoo and just destroy them. All the people who wanted to stay there can stay there and suffer. They can have their DEI. They can have their woke nonsense. They can have their sidewalks. They can have whatever they want.
Oh, it'd be so hard to come back.
Rick with a $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Suki Link saying more than half of Canadians would take that offer.
Yeah.
I think it's higher than that. Sadly, I think it's higher than that. Celtic Canuck chiming in. Somebody go and give her a follow. Have you guys seen her content lately? It's on fire. She doesn't get very underrated in terms of views. I think she needs to get as many views as this channel gets. Head over, give her a follow. She's had some amazing videos lately. Go check them out. Derek Does It Right reads more than just super chats. I appreciate that. Thank you. Celtic has some amazing content. In fact, we've been friends for quite some time. Celtic's given me some great advice in growing this channel. She's a very wise woman. Very knowledgeable in the field of politics as well. People who watch other channels and say, oh, those channels are great, they educate.
You should get her on your show.
Well, I was just about to say, we need to get the Celtic Canuck to sit in on a live stream. Maybe we'll get her in this week on Night Fringe. At some point, we'll get her in to promote her new revamped channel. Talk politics, because she's very smart. She knows her politics. Always a pleasure to talk to. Definitely one of my favorite friends I've made along this journey. And she doesn't screw around, which I really like. Beaten Cheeks. I like that one. $5 super chat. Trump needs to take Canada for North American security from China. Well, that's part of it, and I agree. Kylan, I hope I'm saying that properly. Not sure if already mentioned. I have poor service, but Rebels started a poll to recruit Ruby to the PCs. I wanted to ask Ruby the same thing. She's been showing some tendencies of more conservative policy. Yeah. Why not just run in the PCs? That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Prep Rebel Actual, another $70 super chat. Trump needs to do what Canadians are asking for, asylum. Just saying. Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. I couldn't agree more. Christy saying, I follow the Celtic Canuck is amazing. Please follow her. I couldn't agree more.
We need her on the show.
We're going to get her on the show. We're going to get her on the show soon. I'll find out what her schedule is like. We'll get her in. I would renounce my passport if they exchanged my money dollar for dollar.
Yes.
That's the biggest problem. And we've talked about that before. That's a lot of Canadians virtue signaling, saying, I canceled my vacation to America because I don't want to support America with everything that's going on. No, you canceled your trip to America because it was going to cost you 40% more to go there. You can't afford their money.
Ridiculous.
Because they're winning. Give me a break. Give me a break.
It's out of my foot now. It's asleep.
The Americas sounds better than North America. Yeah, it would technically. Yeah. Yeah. All Canada is a refugee camp. They all ran away to begin with. Yeah. Alan saying, as an American, I will love Canadians to move to the United States. You're free to welcome. You'll be able to afford groceries and houses and gas and cars.
Oh, that would be so exciting.
Have you guys seen the price of houses in the United States? Like for $400 USD, $400,000, or roughly what the average home would cost you, even in a city like Calgary. And I'm talking like an entry-level home in Calgary. You could get like a 3,000 square foot home in a gated community in major cities in the United States.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Somebody said to do the Donald Trump voice, but you know what? I have to talk about Jody Peterson gifting 5 unacceptable fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Coffee fee.
Oh my God.
Thank you for gifting those 5 memberships. Have we not hit 500 likes
yet? I guess we haven't.
I don't think we have.
That's not good.
Can we not get that in there?
It's another one.
We were close before. Did we stop hitting that thumbs up button under the video?
Not.
And not thumbs up in the chat, folks. Thumbs up on the like button.
I wonder how many likes we have.
Marie, becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Thank you for joining us in. You're now in the draw for next week's giveaway. Again, every member of the Patriots Club next Friday we'll be doing our month-end draw for free item of your choice in the shop. If your name is drawn, you have to be a member of the Patriot Club. Doc with a $4.99 super chat. Canada, the best party of being a state. I'm assuming it's supposed to say the best part of being a state is you'll have guaranteed elections every 2 years. Well, I mean, is that good or bad?
Right.
It's good, but it's exhausting.
Yes.
Mike, $5 super chat. Let's be real. Canada's contribution into NATO is negligible. It is. I agree. It needs to be higher. Certainly needs to be higher. Canadian guy, $5 super chat. I hope you get Matt Christensen on the channel sometimes. Very knowledgeable guy. I've reached out multiple times. There's only so much I can reach out. Hopefully he replies. It would be good to get him on the channel.
478. We are so close to the 500.
Roxy's saying 550 in
Oh.
YouTube. Well, either way, get those thumbs ups in there, guys. Let's get the likes up in there. I know Carson offered gifted memberships at 500 likes. It can't be that hard to get there. Speaking of our shop, wait a minute. What's Calgary, Canada saying? Ruby Dhalla is a racist. She called Carney the Liberals a blue-eyed boy. So what? Is that racist? Does he have blue eyes?
Is that racist?
We're getting Mrs. Fringe a new chair. Can we please? I know you wanted to wait until we move. Can we please just go and get you a new chair?
No, it's not happening. I love everybody yelling at you. It's
tomorrow.
awesome.
Can we just go tomorrow and get you a new chair?
No,
I'll sit in it.
No.
Jeez Louise.
No.
I'm so sick of it. People saying that it's like I'm abusing you.
You are. It hurts.
I'm always telling you to get that chair. Julia says we're at 500. Did we hit the 500 finally? How did it take this long to get to 500, guys? Come on, we got to do better. We got to do better. What is it?
Go. I keep missing all the. Oh.
I'll take a look at what Joe had to say. My beautiful wife Roxy from Quandra Island bought 4 of your books. Please thank her. Well, thank you. I mean, thank you to everybody who buys our books. Thank you also to Carson for gifting 10 Unacceptable Fringe memberships into the Patriots Club. Always good on his word. Thank you guys for that. And thank you for the memberships. Carson is such an unbelievable patron of this channel. Always happy to acknowledge his generosity. Becca gifting 5 Unacceptable Fringe memberships as well. Man, we're getting a lot of Patriots in the Patriots Club tonight.
There we go.
Savage Silence gifting another 10 into the Patriots Club. Guys, a lot of free members going out tonight.
It's going to be a good vote next week.
We've got like 30 new members in here tonight, all added to the draw for next week. Speaking of the draw, I want to take a minute before we get into Q&A. Mrs. Fringe has to go put out a fire. Before we get into Q&A, I want to talk a little bit about what's happening in our merch store, because a lot of people had mentioned they didn't like that I deal with an American manufacturer for our clothing. And I always said it was about quality because I couldn't find companies like Redbubble, companies like Teespring, things like that. Whenever they do shirts, people wash them, they fade right away. They're not printed with good quality. Good news for you guys who support our shop, who buy our stuff. We started out the Patriots Club by offering to do these, as this hoodie is, an embroidered high quality hoodie to gift away to one member every month. Unfortunately, the company that did this embroidered hoodie went out of business. I'm happy to report that as of this afternoon, I got in touch with Rob over in Drumheller. I don't know if he wants me announcing his company yet until we get things up and running. So I'll just say I got in touch with Rob. Rob, who has a very successful shop out of Drumheller, is going to be doing new shirts, golf shirts, zip-up hoodies, pullover hoodies, jackets, embroidered hats, you name it. We're getting top quality stuff here on the channel. Canadian made, Canadian owned, operated, and run. Flat rate shipping, guys. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what we're going to be bringing to you guys. And again, once we switch to that supplier, just like with the Patriots Club, once a month, people can choose one item out of the shop for free. However, I will mention some items will be excluded. Basically anything over, say, $125. There are some more expensive options when it gets into their jackets and stuff. We're not going to be gifting away a $300 jacket or something. But we'll definitely still continue the giveaways with this company. I'm looking forward to having those new products, those high quality products for you guys. Again, we're going to start doing Unacceptable Fringe hats. I don't know if you guys can see, this hat is screen printed because that's all that Spreadshirt offered for us. He's going to be doing embroidered hats, and we're going to have a Canadian flag printed on the side of them as well. So they're going to be a little more high high value. They're going to be more quality. The hoodies are premium. He had me feel the textures and look at the products. You guys
and
are
very happy.
You guys are in for some really big treats when it comes to those. We've also talked about designs. We're going to start doing some funny, more comical designs, not slogans or sayings, more original artwork, things like that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to bringing that to you guys a little later this year, maybe in the spring. But we're going to get things moving with Rob. Again, I'll talk to him about getting that in. I also had to plug his son's channel that does toy collecting. I don't have the website in front of me, so if Rob's watching the stream, my bad. I should have had that ready. We had multiple viewings on the house, and I got into the house 10 minutes before the stream started, had to set up. I'll give the shout out on Wednesday's Unhinged Fringe stream. So for any of you guys that are into toy collecting, when it comes to Star Wars, any of that stuff, come check out the channel Wednesday. I'll have a link for you guys for an amazing channel. I did check it out today already. It's got some good quality content. We want to boost their subs. Mike with a $5 super chat. If your contribution to NATO is negligible, your opinion is negligible? Well, I would think so from a government standpoint. I think that the best offense is a good defense. You have to invest. You have to do your part. And you also don't send your entire military overseas to fight a forever war when you should be defending your home turf. Yeah. Right? Like, I'll say this again. Whether it's NATO, whether it's any other agreement we have with another country, when it comes to America, Canada needs to find a way to partner with America on a multitude of things. We have a line between us, a drawn line on a map. Many people chant 51st state, regardless of whether we stay Canada, we were annexed, however you want to put it. We should always work together. We should always be together. We should always learn to appreciate each other. That's why I always say, I love when I go to America. They're always friendly to me. Anytime I go down there and they hear we're from Canada, nicest people on the planet, despite what people stereotypically
I don't think that'll be
say.
the case anymore.
I don't think that'll be the case anymore, thanks to Justin Trudeau. But we need to find a way to work together. We need to find a way to realize that all the bullshit that's going on, all the nonsense, is all generated by woke governments and elitists, globalists. It's not the people. Any of the people that are supporting it are the wrong people. They're the sheep. They're on the wrong side of the fence. They're on the wrong side of history, I might add. So just know this, to my dear American viewers, we stand with you. We agree with you. And I'll tell you right now, if somebody was standing in that arena booing the American national anthem and told me, join in, or you're not a true Canadian patriot, I'd knock them out and I'd support my American friends. Not because I'd be turning my back on my country, because I'd be representing my country by showing that I'm a level-headed, patriotic Canadian, and I know what it means to love your country. And I'm willing to stand up for other people and theirs. Prep Rebel Actual becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Patriots Club. Appreciate that. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some Q&A. Let's wrap up the stream with some good old Q&A. Throw your questions in there.
Any question.
Anything at all. Anything you want to talk about. Throw it in there. Talk amongst yourselves.
He looks for question marks, so make sure you've got a question
Make sure you got a question mark in there, because again, the chat moves so fast. I'll miss it for sure. Carol with a question. Do you think when Carney gets in, he'll call an emergency act because of Trump
100%.
and hold the elections off until 2026? Yes, Carol. Good question. You should check out today's video that came out showing that Karina Gould already speaking on his behalf, saying that the tariffs are going to be used to draw out to an emergency style next election. And of course, when Mark Carney was asked, will you call an election? He won't answer.
It's all part of the plan. We pro-government until we can get it postponed for another year.
OAO asking, will you buy Tiffany a nice massage chair for streaming when you move to the Grove? Aren't those like $3,000?
Ooh.
We'll see. That's a little pricey. That's a little pricey for the Fringe. I'll definitely get her something that she finds comfortable and good for her. You could offer Tiffany your chair. This is Tiffany's chair. This was Tiffany's chair. In fact, she hates it. I've tried.
It's far too hard.
I love how everybody's first go-to is that I'm somehow this giant asshole.
Why do you get the comfy chair?
Why won't you give her a new chair? Why don't you give her your chair? You're such a piece of shit.
Yeah, you bought me this chair when I was working from home, and it was great because I could lay back, but I can't lay back and cross my legs and stream. I've got to stand straight. So
yeah, Tiffany hates the chair. She hates it now, anyways.
Yeah.
Oil Patch Mark becoming a member for 1 month. Do you think Pierre gets in? He'll get a pipeline regardless of Quebec's stance. He'll have to. He has to. He might have to go through America and cut a deal with them. I don't know how we're going to do it. Thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you for the question. I think that we're in a... She does deserve it. Talk to her. She's the one doing all this. It's not me. She's the Justin Trudeau of this house.
No.
I'm trying, and she's just saying, nah.
Mrs. Fringe is frugal.
She's very frugal. If you interview Ruby, will you not be afraid of her lips exploding? Well, she's on a...
They're crooked. Did you see?
She's on a camera. It would just mess up her lens. It's not gonna... I mean, it would make for good entertainment.
It would be amazing if on this show that's when they did.
If you guys ever seen Scanners, it would kind of be like that guy whose head explodes. Like she'd just be talking, and all of a sudden, pop, like a zit, just all over the camera, and you'd just see me staring blankly at the screen, like, well, it's time to go.
Oh my god, that would be horrible.
Derek and Tiffany, there's so many negative people in this country of the world. Am I right?
Yeah, people suck.
People
I would rather choose to be kind.
I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate to that one. People are negative, but I feel like a lot of them have a right to be negative right now because they don't know what else to do. Listen, talk to Mrs. Fringe. I am one of the most negative people on the planet.
And I am not.
I don't know if you guys know this from watching videos and watching. I almost sound like Don Cherry. She'll get into the car and I'll be like, let me tell you something about what happened today. I'll go off.
And sometimes you just need a break from the negativity, but
I think people have earned the right to be negative. Their government sucks. David Brewer, $10 super chat. Did you see Trudeau's stupid tweet after the Canadian hockey win? I did. I'm holding that off for another video. It's all part of his whole little everybody jump on board and be in the same boat. We're all Team Canada, right?
I'm Team Danielle Smith.
Team Danielle. D Ski becoming a new member of the Patriots Club. Welcome to the Patriots Club. Thank you for becoming a new member tonight. Are we going to get the Dragon's Lair interview soon? We would, but we ran out of time.
Yeah, we did. We ran out of time today.
Well, thank you to Dragon's Lair Machine for showing up on the stream. We'll get to Dragon's Lair at another time.
There's one you missed. Something.
Where?
Right there you go.
How do we show foreign invaders we run this without actually confronting them in public? Well, that would be... Damn, that's a tough one. It's up to our governments to cut them off.
Yeah.
Just start telling them to get out of here. It's done. It's over.
We're
not giving you any more money. We're not giving you any more subsidies. We're not going to listen to I'm offended. You know what it is? Anytime it's funny because I forget where I was, but I was out and I was wearing one of my shirts and somebody said, I find that offensive. And then of course they were wearing a rag on their head. That the women do to hide their face, whatever it is. I don't know what it's called anymore. I don't care. But she said, I find that offensive. I just pretended I couldn't hear. I just kept walking. I kept walking away.
I don't speak English.
It's just walking. I don't hear you. I'm sorry. Just pretend they don't exist. That's it. They're just a figment of your imagination. Mike with another $5 super. Mike, you just keep going tonight, man. Thank you. Who is the Donald Trump of Canada? The guy who's going to save you from oblivion?
We're hoping Pierre Poilievre.
But Pierre's not the Trump of Canada.
We need a real Trump of Canada. Elon, come over here. We need a Trump of Canada. We need somebody with big balls. Danielle Smith.
Yeah, she's got the biggest pair for sure. But I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't want to share her with the rest of you guys. I'm sorry.
If it makes Canada, I'm willing to share.
We're not, yeah.
As long as we get her back.
Derek is the Trump of Canada. So
I wish.
It would be fun. It would be fun to run an election if I wasn't disqualified. I mean, I'd love my dream. I have this dream regularly where I'm standing on a stage with Pierre and Trudeau and going, you guys don't know anything about politics. You don't know anything about nothing. You're stealing everybody's money. You should all be in jail. You should all just pack up your bags and leave. I'm taking the office.
You'd be in jail.
Mrs. Fringe will spend many hours under my desk while I pass policies. A little joke there.
That's for only Fringe.
That's for only Fringe. Let me tell you something about Don Cherry. He's a true Canadian. Let's go. That's why the Liberals on Hockey Night in Canada fired him. Yeah. They don't like the truth.
No. They hate the truth. They hide the truth.
Well, that list is supposed to be coming out soon. You guys want to talk about good times? Trump is making that list public. And I love all the people that are like, Donald Trump went to that island too. Then why would he make the list public? Why would he be so eager to get that list out there? What's funny is there are flight logs that have Donald Trump with him on the plane, but not going to that island. So what you have to realize is that Jeffrey Epstein hung around in a lot of powerful communities during his time on this earth. And while Donald Trump may have indulged him in a meeting or two, there are no logs that show him going to the island. But of course, everybody wants to jump on that. So my question to anybody who says Trump's involved with it, well, then why would he want it released so bad? Why wouldn't he be covering it up like, oh, I don't know, everybody else on the planet who's trying to stop it? Somebody had mentioned it the other night and said, I sure hope Tom Hanks isn't on that list because there's rumor about it. I love Tom Hanks. And I said, here's the thing. I think when they release that list, there's going to be a lot of people we love that are going to be on that list. And then we're all going to go, and it's going to ruin a lot of things for people. But I still say it's best we see that list. I think it's best those names get out there.
P. Diddy crap. Like, I mean, it's everywhere.
There's no more lube to break out and get ready for it because P. Diddy took it all.
Yeah, he did.
What are your thoughts on CBC possibly getting more handouts? Someone posted on X about this. I've got a video coming this weekend about it. I got to have a little bit of a carrot on a stick here or you guys aren't going to come back. So check out that video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and a comment on that video. The comments, lately the comments haven't been coming in. And the problem when the comments and the thumbs ups don't come in, YouTube starts saying, yeah, people are watching it, but they're just not interested. They're not engaging. So it helps immensely. If you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up and a comment. There's my shill for the evening. I was born and raised in Canada. We were kind, friendly people that got along with, and Canada only has one neighbor. I want to stay friends with our neighbor. The NDP Liberal government are promoting hate.
Yes.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
That's the way we got to look at it. And just Americans need to realize, and this is where my concern was with Charlie Kirk's video earlier this week. Dude's got 3 million subscribers. He's talking about good old America and to hell with Canada. And look what Canada's doing to us. You got to remember that it's a government that's running the show on this. So the government and woke cities, anytime you're looking at this stuff, it's happening in woke cities. It's not Canadians that are doing this. It's a very small percentage of people that are easily brainwashed and manipulated. They were during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Americans, I can't say it enough. Please understand that the realistic, common sense Canadians that know a thing or two about not only being polite, but by being very
considerate,
warm-hearted people and considerate.
We have not changed.
We don't hate you guys.
No.
We don't want to fight with anybody.
It's the sheeple.
I love being Canadian. I'm ashamed of my government.
Yes.
That's where I stay on it. Altruism, I have to ask, is a green screen or do you own these awesome arcade machines?
They're real.
Why don't you go hit the start button on one of them? You show them these are all real arcades. We built all this for my kids during the pandemic, and I'm sticking to that. I had to move a large percentage of the machines into the garage while we're selling the house because before it was wall-to-wall arcade machines, a little overwhelming in the old basement when people are looking at buying the house. So because this is my set, yes, I keep these behind, but stay tuned. Stay tuned when we do move. And when it does happen, I'll be keeping you guys up to speed on that one. When it does happen, I've got plans to construct a brand new studio. Again, we've talked about it before. Videos for the first few weeks will probably be in a different room of the house, just temporarily. But I do have plans because the home is going to have an undeveloped basement. So I'm going to get some drywall, 2x4s, you name it. I'm going to build a full-fledged, dedicated studio. The arcades will not be in the background in that new studio. However, Dragon's Lair will probably stick around just because it's become a meme and a prop on this channel. But I've got some really cool stuff going into that studio. Mrs. Fringe has already been heavily involved in the process of planning out that studio. We're each going to have desks, our own computers, our own mics, our own cameras.
So we can't snuggle anymore.
Higher production value. You guys are going to love what we got in store for you. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, hit it. Hit that subscribe button. Join the channel, and let's get excited for that new content because it's on its way. Altruism saying I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to do it myself. In fact, every time we talk about what we're going to do with that studio, I get really, really excited. No, we're not doing a Star Trek theme. I've shown people around.
Only Fringe.
I've shown people around my arcade before, my basement here. All the nerd stuff I have, my lightsabers, movie quality lightsabers, by the way, not the crappy Hasbro ones. My hoverboards, my Gray Sports Almanac.
Yes, you have a lot of toys.
A lot of cool stuff is going to be around that room. It's really going to get nerdy. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be fabulous.
We'll see.
Mrs. Fringe wants a little girly corner. We'll see what we can do for her.
I want a family area.
Maybe like a in the studio?
Not in the studio, but in the basement
in the studio.
somewhere.
But we're going to do, maybe we'll get Mrs. Fringe a little potted plant for her desk. We'll see. But the rest of it's nerd stuff. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be great. Hopefully I can have my proton packs mounted to the walls. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. I'm really excited for it. There it is. Nerd! JD, have you ever... Hang on. Have you ever had Lick-a-Chick chicken from Cape Breton Island?
No.
Isn't that place that we went to in Walden?
No.
That wasn't the name of it? I thought that was the name of it.
No.
No, then that isn't it. No, we haven't had it. No. Tiffany will get a chair last. I'm kidding. The chair will be the first bloody thing that I buy. I swear to God.
I just need my stool from work. That's what I need. Need something to put my feet on.
Do you think the Trudeau government will join the BRICS nations against the Americans? They'll do whatever lines their pockets and their best interests. That's what I think. Sorry, I seen that question popping up. Wait, what is this? What is this? You know she's the boss. Is that really what you think? You really think Mrs. Fringe is the one who wears the pants around here? I mean, I wear shorts every day. She technically wears pants. I'm the boss. I'm going to stick to that. I'm sticking to that. I represent that remark. How many times do we have to go over this chair?
I know, right?
Right?
It's coming.
Come on, guys. Come on. Enough with the chair. You wear the pants in the family, but she picks them out. Is this a roast? Are we turning into a roast?
No, they're propping me up. She's the man.
I put my pants on one leg at a time while Mrs. Fringe pulls them up, I'll have you know. I'm just kidding. Come on. Come on. I'm sitting in a timber frame carport with a propane heat. Nice wood. Good to know. Being warm's important. Another thing, if Canadians move to the United States, they will not have to worry about cheating like the Liberals try to do in the next election.
Yeah.
Didn't Joe Biden cheat to win the election? Dominion voting machines? The state of Georgia? Is that for real? Is that for real? They all cheat. Canadian guy, $5 super chat. Going from Trudeau to Carney is like going from Disney's Prince John to the Sheriff of Nottingham. It's worse than that. It's worse than that. Lauren saying, I love your chair. Where can I get one? You'll find it in a dumpster outside my house as soon as we move because Mrs. Fringe will have a new one. There you go.
You're not going to keep this chair for you?
No.
Why?
I need a better chair. This chair sucks.
Well, you got it for me.
Yeah, because
that's a stupid argument.
If it were for me, I would have bought a better one.
Oh, okay.
YouTube doesn't like election denial? Well, then they shouldn't like politics in general.
Which they don't.
They don't. They don't. They really don't. At least if we're annexed, the big black women won't like the cold. They're used to kids as weapons in street fight. I don't get what any of that means. What?
I think
What?
I think it's getting a little late.
Are we getting a little racist in here? What's going on? What?
Too many shots.
We're VR helmets with voice mods. Bad techno. Oh God. We're not Daft Punk. Ingrid Stewart, $2 super chat. Having so much fun tonight. I'm glad you're having fun. That's good. I like that you guys have fun.
Hot down here.
We get Godzilla outfits. No.
We should do the dinosaur outfits. Oh my God, we should do politics and the blow up dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Do you know how many people were chewing me out? These bots that come in this week, saying, "Oh, you wear these fancy little kid hoodies and you sit in front of arcades. I can't take you seriously." Well, get out of here then. Go away. I'm sorry. I like to have fun. I'm sorry that I'm not. You know what? I remember being in my 20s and my old man used to say, "When are you going to become a functioning member of society? When are you going to go get some nice golf shirts?"
Well, this is why I'm happier than you.
And some khakis. When are you going to play golf instead of video games? And I simply said to him, because I'm not lame. And that's, I'm sorry that I enjoy having fun. I get one spin on this earth. And this is how I roll. Take it or leave it. It's not changing. Mrs. Fringe likes it. I like it. That's the way it's staying. Guilty Gearhead. I love the arcade. I'm glad you do. I love it too. That's why I play in it all the time. I had somebody this week. What's really funny, somebody was calling me out. If you watched the DEI Delta Airlines crash in Toronto, if you look at the thumbnail on that video, the thumbnail was an upside down shot of two captains in the plane, and they were both black. And somebody came out and said, "Derek, I know you're a racist now. I've been watching your channel for a long time. You're a closet racist. Why are there two black women on the photo?" And I said, "It's the joke about diversity, equity, and inclusion." She's like, "No, I know you're a racist. You're such a racist." I don't have a racist bone in my body. I love it when people lose their minds like that. It's just like, what planet are you on? Like, what are you huffing and where can I get some? I don't think I've ever displayed a racist tendency ever in my stream. And I'll have you know, I am the furthest thing from a racist. I own a color TV. Oh, zing. There we go. Gerald Cooper, Derek and Tiffany, do you think it would be good to talk to PP in person about what you talked about tonight? I'd love to. Here's the problem. I've gone to his events, and every time I see him, I say, "Pierre, he's Derek." And I say, "It's good to see you." "Good to see you too." And then as soon as I say, "Hey, can we have a chat?" his assistants come in and put their arm across me and say, "No, we need to keep away from you guys, you YouTubers." And he doesn't just say me. He says the pleb, all these other guys. And then people say, well, he acknowledged the pleb at that one rally because it was being recorded. If I was recording and walked up to Pierre, I guarantee you his people probably wouldn't stop me like they do any other time. But I have courtesy when I see Pierre, and I don't like to film him without his permission. But they all say we got to stay away from YouTubers. We don't want to be around the YouTube. They're going to give us a bad rap. The liberals will be all over us if we talk to YouTubers. They're all over you already.
Yeah.
Start entertaining your base.
Talk to the people of where they're getting your information, where they're getting their news from.
Tell your haters to call or see me. I will be glad to deal with your haters. Sweet. Don't deal with the haters. I find it funny. People think I get frazzled by them. I always say to them, you find it offensive. I find it funny, and that's why I'm happier than you.
Yeah.
I don't care. It really doesn't get me anymore. Like, I was talking about it on Wednesday, like all the people calling me fat last week. And it's like, what are you, grade 5? Like, you think, like Clyde used to do it all the time. "You're so fat." Well, okay. And like, what are you, 12? Like, I don't care. You know, like I sometimes, in fact, I did it to Clyde once. He was like, "You're such a fat idiot." And I was like, "Oh, I'm fat? Oh my God." And like, I went up to Tiffany. I was like, "Did you know I was fat? I had no clue. Holy crap. What have I been doing all this time?" Like, I love how people say it like they think you're stupid and you don't know. Like, it's so hilarious. I think it's funny. I don't care about this stuff. It's part of being on the internet. People will say anything because they think it's going to hurt your feelings. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, Bulletproof shield. I don't care. Sure, some things piss me off, but they don't get to me. They don't get to me. It's not going to happen. It's this is the nature of the beast. It's part of the business. It's yeah. Now that Musk has a new position doing or alongside Trump, X has gone to the dogs. My account was suspended for a joke I posted about a year ago. Racist, apparently. They got to fix a few things.
Yeah.
I definitely, you know, what's funny is I lowered my membership tier on X because they say that when you have the higher tiers, you're supposed to get a boost in views and everything else. I've looked at the analytics. It doesn't seem to matter which tier you have, you get the same amount of promotion. It's a broken clown piss. Did Clyde call Derek names? Yeah, all the time. All the time. In fact, Tiffany was here when he was doing it. He's a nice guy, I'll tell you. Wonderful person. Very positive. I was 256 last summer. I'm now 190 and happy. So I can shed the weight anytime I want. I've already talked about this. Some of the medications I take decrease my metabolism, and it's made life difficult because anytime I'll eat something, it just packs on.
My problem is I eat my feelings.
And Tiffany eats her feelings sometimes because that's just how we cope. But I'll tell you right now that part of it, like when we cleared out this house, I used to do spin all the time, and spin was really good for me. Cycling is the one thing that makes my weight melt off like butter. I got rid of the bike when we were emptying it out because there was nowhere to store it. I used to keep the spin bike, which I bought on like Facebook Marketplace, in the middle of the basement. And we couldn't do that when we were showing the house. So I got rid of it, and I thought we were going to sell the house quickly. So we got rid of the bike, and I said, okay, when we move, I'll get a new bike, or we're going to go to the gym, get memberships, and start going regularly and get into shape. One way or another, I'm dropping it as soon as we move because it's not about my looks. I don't live on my looks. Mrs. Fringe is married to me. She likes the way I look. And that to me is all that's important. She's the one who has to live with me. The reason I want to go to a gym is because I like feeling better. I like fitting better into clothing. I like breathing a little easier and knowing I might be here to annoy everybody on YouTube just a little bit longer. So change is coming in that department. The only thing I hate is because, again, that medication, I got to work like a dog on anything else aside from spin to lose weight. It sucks. Savage Silence, $2 super chat. They wouldn't last 2 seconds in a Call of Duty lobby. Yeah, no, people can't handle it, man. It's I can't start running. I'm short. I remember when I tried to do running and it was the shin splints.
I
like
can't because my boobs
really,
are too big.
really bad. Oh, thank you for saying that on stream. Now the comments are going to be full of creepy men.
Well, it's true.
I got shin splints really bad. In fact, I could hardly even walk into the doctor's office, and he's like, "Yeah, you can't run." He's like, "It's because of your height." I'm only 5'5". It's too hard on the legs. I'd have to drop like 100 pounds before I could start running. Cut bread, already have. Long time ago.
Well, if you have an allergy.
Long time ago, I've got a gluten allergy. Processed food,
blow up
processed food and sugar. I don't eat that. Watch what happens. Seed oils too. You know what's funny, Paul? I don't do any of that stuff. Again, right there is the proof in what I'm saying about the medication. I haven't had bread in a long time. I maybe eat a little bit of processed food, not much. It's very low. Barely any sugar.
We also can't afford to be healthy.
Aside from those things, yeah, try
Nobody
affording.
can afford to buy fruit or vegetables or.
Try affording to be healthy these
Yeah.
days. I went to our local co-op last week because my kids, look, we always tell the kids, pick out one fruit, you're taking it to school. That's going to be in your lunches for the week. And my daughter says, I want grapes, I want oranges, and what was the other thing I had to get? Apples. 4 apples. I bought 4 oranges, 4 apples, and a bunch of grapes. $40 at the grocery store for those 3 items. I look at that and start going, how do people afford to eat healthy anymore? How? Now, I'll happily pay the $40 because I'd rather my
Well, our
kids
kids need it, but
get the nutrition they need. But it's just so alarming. So alarming to see that it costs so much to be healthy. Meanwhile, you can go and buy a box of Kraft dinner for $1. $1.50 in a store. Are you still considering any elected positions? Says Birdie Cracker. A lot of people have asked me to run for city council or mayor's position in Spruce Grove when we move. If there's demand and if I see an opportunity, maybe. I don't know what it really takes to be the mayor of Spruce Grove, but hey, we'll take a look at it. Insult my character all you want, but when you say things about mom is when I get mad, I'll take action, but you haven't. Oh, he's getting called out again. Is that, guys? Keep the drama out of the chat, please. Let's try and keep it positive. Time to grow our own fruits. I couldn't agree more. If you're in a climate where you can do that, yes.
Can't do it in the winter.
Can't do it in the winter in Calgary. It's not going to happen.
Edmonton will be worse. We got people up there.
Yeah, kids are getting into things. We're gonna have to wrap up the stream. We're almost at 2 hours. We went hard tonight. We're usually an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody who contributed tonight, who super chatted, who supported the channel. Before we roll, Errol, Scotland, if I've pronounced that right, Canadian guy, Mike, David Warner, Canadian guy again, Mike again, Romanian Patriot, Aaron Morrison, Ingrid Stewart, MJW, Savage Silence, Reg Porter, Oil Patch Mark, Data Hole, Carbon Tax Carson. Thank you for the gifted memberships as well as the super chats. Prep Rebel Actual, Trudeau's Akami, Jody Peterson, Neil, Canadian Guy, if I didn't say it already, Saved by Grace, Rick Jeter, Beaten Cheeks 2, Marie Hebson's Interiors Design, Doc Luke, Becca CRI, thank you for the gifted memberships. Savage Silence for the gifted memberships as well. A lot of repeats in here. David Brewer, D Ski, Ingrid Stewart. Thank you to all of you for helping out in the stream tonight, for all your support. Again, join us next Friday for our giveaway. You have to be a member of the Patriots Club to be in that draw, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the join button down below to become a member and support the channel. Again, the winner gets to pick one item from our merchandise shop free of charge. I will send it your way. And with that being said, don't forget to also join me this upcoming Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central for our solo new show, at least for the time being, Unhinged Fringe, where we'll talk about a little bit more of what's happening in politics. Maybe some other things have developed with Ruby. Maybe we'll have the Celtic Canuck on. We'll see. I'll try to get something running. With that, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the weekend. Keep your eyes out for the new content. Keep your sticks on the ice. Look after each other, will you? Stay positive. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy your weekends. From me and Mrs. Fringe, we'll catch you on the next one.